Here's a quick training video on grouping dates in the general dashboard category. So this dashboard is pretty simple, and if you watch some of our other training videos, you probably find it pretty easy to make. So we're just going to get into a little more detail on how we can generate some of these details ourselves using formulas. So the formula columns are very powerful, and here, of course, row 64 has a spreadsheet, and you can go and add columns here and can type formulas and stick them in your dashboards. But you can also stick formulas in your data frame, in your source data. So here we're going to pull in some data, and here this is hardware sales. And we've used this in quite a few of the examples. So we have a date time here, and we have a quarter and a quarter year here. And so we can use that in this example. That's how this is all done. You just kind of pull off, you cross filter the amount and the quarter year, that makes this. You cross filter the product, and that makes that. But we wanted to look at what if you didn't have the quarter and the quarter year. And so row 64 has a lot of power to synthetically generate columns and formulas, equations, expressions that would be normally done in the ETL stage of data ingest. You can do them all here live as the data scientist or the data analyst making dashboards. So just under the hood, just to talk about how things are working a bit, row 64 stores dates in int64, uses the identical format as Python and Pandas. And this makes it really easy to muck around in Python and to build these columns and to manipulate the dates. And using the RamDB format, you can sort of generate what other synthetic columns you want using Python. However, we also have another layer over top within these crosslinks where you can add Excel style formulas. And when you do that, it shifts the date into float64, which is exactly what Excel uses. And you can do all these neat Excel tricks in your formulas with dates. And some of them are quite nice. Like you can add 1 to a date, and that'll increment it a day. Things like that. Excel can be very user-friendly for quick formulas. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So to start off, what we're going to do is we want to make a base for cross-filtering. So when we're clicking on these things, they're changing one another, but they need a shared root. So we kind of want to remake our root of this of the data to kind of make our own base sheet here. So I'm going to grab everything here, and I'm just going to leave off all this extracted date stuff. So let's just say we started with this. I'm going to create a crosslink, and now I've got all my data here, and now I'm going to synthetically generate that quarter. And so this is going to be done using a formula column, and we've got a bunch of it. Like we've got fiscal quarter. You can offset the quarter, for example. You can get the hour, the minute, the month. So you can extract all kinds of data. You can subtract dates, and then construct your own string. Here, if we extract the quarter here, I'll just go zoom over and look at that, and you can see it's extracted the quarter. But in fact, we want to get the quarter year, and we'll hit run. And there's the quarter year. So now this is a formula column we've generated ourselves, and now we can go and build our dashboard off of that. So we're going to connect the amount to the quarter, our new column here. And I'm going to create a cross filter, which is a crosslink, a spin-off sheet. This case, I'm going to group Summit. I'm just going to group them all by those quarters. And I'm going to make a chart. And here we are. And I can build that dashboard really quickly here. Not a difficult dashboard. Now, one thing about this is we want to not pull in our, hold on, I'll just make this quick. And this is in half, and this is in thirds. Okay. But when we pull in the data, so when you want to click on this and cross-filter, we don't want our live DF. We don't want to pull this one in. We want to kind of pull in our new root, which is our sort of new base that has our formula columns on that. So I'll just drag that in there, and then you can see I've still got all my data, but then I'm looking at also my synthetically generated column. And so I'll pull this over here, and we can click on this. Control click, hit the F key. I'm going to just do all the standard stuff we do in the other demos, just change the settings here, and rotate the horizontal axis. All the other tutorials, I should say. Okay, and then here we're going to group the product and the amount. Now, if we would make a mistake, if I went here and did this live DF, the original one we started with, if we built the cross filter off of that, then they won't cross filter properly. But if we build it off of our new kind of level here with our new data, then they will filter one another. So now I can just click on amount and product. I'll create a crosslink, a spin-off sheet, and I forgot to group it, which is fine because then I can just go click on here, transform group sum, and run it. So if you ever forget that, you can just go get it in the recipe. Okay, so now I'm going to make my chart, and I'm going to drag it into the dashboard, and I'm going to rotate the horizontal axis. Here we go. And let's look at our dashboard. We'll publish that online. And here we go. Give it an 04. And so you can see our cross filtering is working perfectly. Now when we filter the quarter and the date, they're all changing one another, and we didn't have the quarter when we got it, we just got the timestamp, and it's all working automatically. Now the cross filtering is perfect. And we could even go and do little filters like in here, like filter by, I don't know, the brand here, like I'll just type AMD. And so we've got an additional level filter. Everything is affecting one another because they sort of have the same root. And then it goes, basically when you click on this quarter, it goes up the tree and filters the root and then brings it back down to every other chart. So it's kind of a nice thing. So just to finish this off, we've got three simple things here. Total, average sales here. I'll just do total sales. And if you've watched a bunch of these, you can skip over this because we show it in a bunch of our examples again. But again, pull it off your new base. So don't pull it off the live DS or they won't cross filter each other. Here we're going to say average sales. And I probably should have renamed this. Okay, equals average. Okay, but this is a good trick for making a more advanced formula-driven spreadsheet. We're going to have another video, the seasonal video, that will go into a lot of detail with formulas. It's going to take on quite a complicated project there. Okay, and I take the average of the coupon here, and so let's publish this online. Publish, overwrite, and you can see everything is cross-filtering perfectly each other. And of course, you can also go in here. The users can go in and customize the date range themselves. I hope you found this video useful.